Day 22. You know, day 22 is not looking to be a fun day. Um, the sun is already out, and I don't like running with the sun. But in addition to that, I stared at my running shoes for about 15 minutes this morning, and all I kept thinking was I could just run tonight. But it's okay. I got myself into my shoes, and we're getting ready to start this run this morning. Here we go. I'll see you guys in a minute. Oh, day 22 is down, okay? So 22 days ago, I decided I was going to run every single day without any days off, okay? If you've been following these videos, today is day 22. And in every one of these videos, I talked a little bit about what I've been thinking about when I was running. And this whole idea of transformation, I want to just kind of share something with you. So when I started running this challenge, I was at 270 pounds. It is the heaviest I have ever been, okay? And I couldn't run more than a mile. It was a mile. And let me tell you, just to recap, with my younger years, the longest distance I've ever ran was about 13 miles or so, roughly, give or take a mile. That was the longest distance I ever ran, and that was back in 2010. So, 14 years ago. And since then, life got complicated, yada yada. Here we are. I'm 270 pounds, the heaviest I've ever been. My ideal weight, as far as I'm concerned, is like 206, 200. So I'm 70 pounds over where I want to be. And I'm thinking to myself, I got to do something. I got to take care of myself. I have a kid. I want to have a really long life so that I can be around for her and make sure that she gets all the support that she needs. And I don't want to have a long life and be a dependent. I want to have a long life to be supportive of her. And so, I've done these things. I tried to do this thing from overweight to Spartan, and I was training for the Spartan race and this and that, and I was completely disappointed by the outcome of that. But at the end of the day, I decided, okay, well, Goggins talks about this transformation thing. 365 days makes it real. If you do something for 365 days, it becomes who you are. And I thought, let's do this, 365 days. Why not? So here we are. Day 22 was today. And I'm not a special person. I'm going to tell you right now, I suck at discipline. My brother actually recently said this to me. We're having a conversation, and he said, your biggest problem you have is discipline. And my brother's a really, really dynamic overachiever in every way in his life. He's always been that way. He's very meticulous about the things that he does. And he is just, he's very dynamic in nature. Anybody who knows us, you know how different I am and how different he is than how I am. I'm more like the chilled guy, and he's very like, I'm going after life, like with no regard for anything else, right? So with that, I took on this challenge, and today, and I've been sharing my reflections when I'm running. It's kind of like this weird thing. I'm listening to Goggin, but I listen to it at a very low volume. I use him to kind of I just listen to some of the things that he says, and I just think to myself, like, if this kid could be running in broken legs, training for SEALs, the hell am I complaining about breathing heavy because it's 98 degrees outside? What am I doing, right? So when I feel like, you're having that internal conversation where your mind is like, go back home. What the hell are you doing out here? It's 95 degrees outside. You hear Goggin tell you how he ran on broken legs, and you're like, I'm gonna keep going. I find his teaching, his life, because he basically teaches you by highlighting his life, and I find his teachings inspirational. And so I listen to him at a low volume, but internally I'm having these reflective conversations about my life, and I've shared some of those things with you in these videos. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about this whole concept of wanting something more or wanting something, and wanting something more than the person who wants it, right? And I'll explain what I'm saying here, because this happens a lot. In my entire life, I've always been that guy who a lot of people come to for advice. They come to me and they ask me questions like, hey, I'm thinking about starting a business. What do you think about this? I have this idea. How do I go about finding out what I need to do this? And I've always been that person who's like, hey man, whatever I don't know, let me go research it. Let's find this out together, because I want to know. Because I've always been really curious, right? So if you come to me and you're like, hey, I want to start a shoe factory. I don't know anything about starting a shoe factory, but I might be like, you know what, dude, that sounds cool. I'm always encouraging. And I'm always kind of like, dude, that's a great idea. You know what? I want to help you do the research. Can I help you? And I just help you, right? And if it's something that I already know about, well, clearly I share my perspective and I share my experience and I share what I know about, and I share that information with the person that came to me. And sometimes it could be something as simple as I need relationship advice, which I don't know why people come to me with that, but at the end of the day, sometimes I just share perspective. Sometimes people just need to talk about what they're going through and they find their own answers. And sometimes I just listen and I just kind of ask questions. And maybe by asking questions, it guides them to the things that they need to do. And then it's funny because sometimes they go, thanks, man, good talk. And I haven't said a word except, why do you think that's important? Or why does that bother you? Or what's next? If this happens, where do you see yourself going? Right? And by simply asking those questions, the person answers their own questions, and then they go, yeah, you know what, thanks for listening to me, man. I really appreciate your advice. And I'm like, I didn't give you any, but that's okay. And sometimes, people come to me and they ask me for, like they want something. They're like, I really want to do this. And I become vested because I'm all about helping people achieve. Like I love being involved in your achievements. If you come to me and you tell me that you want to start a shoe factory, and I don't know anything about a shoe factory, I'm like, what's the market share on that? And what's the materials that you're gonna use for your shoes, dude? What would it cost to get them done overseas, and what does it cost to get them done here in the U.S.? And do you want a U.S. based plant or you want an offshore based plant? And how do you want to market these? And is it like athletic shoes or is it like dress shoes? And I get all into it, right? And so I'm that guy, right? And so I become vested, right? And sometimes people that don't see your vision of what you're trying to accomplish, right? Whether it's running 365 days or whether it's launching a business or whether you want to launch a lemonade stand or it could be, something totally Mickey Mouse. Like I just want to wash cars in my driveway. Is that okay? I just want to make extra cash. Someone may not see that vision. This often happens. And for example, it might be somebody who wants to build a real estate portfolio and they want to invest in real estate investment groups so that they can generate enough money so that they can start buying their rental properties and so that they can start creating a passive income, whatever. And they find some stuff, right? And the funny thing is they find some stuff and they get excited and they're like, I am so excited. I found this thing. I'm going to put a little bit of money in here. I get a 30% return on my investment. These guys are putting everybody's money together. They're flipping houses. You get 30% on your money that you put in there over a certain amount of time. And they're telling you all the details and they're super excited. And then they come to me a few days later and they go, yeah, so I went home and, I was telling my wife about it and I was so excited, and my wife, she works like 80 hours a week in the ER. 60 hours a week in the ER, and she's a nurse, and so all she knows is nursing, and she's really passionate about it, and she really likes what she does, and all she keeps telling me is that I should go to school and get into nursing. And so she was telling me that instead of putting that, $300 a month into this investment account, maybe I should just put that $300 a month into a savings account so that she can buy these Louis Vuitton shoes that she's been wanting. And the thing is, like, it turned into this discussion, it turned into this thing, like, she just doesn't see it, and I'm trying, she just wants to take a vacation, and I'm trying to make it so that we can vacation later a lot, but she doesn't see it that way because she's got her her concept, her idea of how often she wants to travel in a year, and this becomes a thing. This became it became a very like uncomfortable conversation because we could not align ourselves, right? Or maybe the guy comes home super excited and he's talking about how he's gonna start a marketing agency, but then the wife is like, I don't get it. Why can't you just be happy with the $20 an hour that you make? And if you want to make more money, why don't you take on some overtime? You know, I make 20 bucks an hour. And when I want extra money, I just work a few hours overtime. And believe it or not, these are conversations that I have with people. And the person will come to me and they'll be like, yeah, you know, I was really excited about this thing that I was thinking about doing, and I don't know exactly what to do here because I don't want it to become a thing. And sometimes it could be a family member. It could be like your sister or like your brother, like, or your mom or your dad that comes to you and they listen to your to how excited you are about learning how to trade stocks. And all of a sudden, you know, you get this response. You're going to become a stockbroker or a day trader? Bro, go get that certification and become an x-ray specialist at a hospital where you can make $80K a year and just be happy. They're just telling you that because that's what they know. They're telling you that because they can't see the vision that you have. They're giving you advice based on the vision that they have seen, however expansive or limited it may be. They're giving you advice, not bad advice because they don't love you, they love you. But they're giving you the advice based on the fear that they feel for you possibly failing or possibly moving in the wrong direction. And so they're so afraid of you failing. They feel this fear and they're like, no, don't do that. What are you talking about? You're going to put money in some bank account with a group of investors and what guarantees you're going to get that back? And what if you lose it? They don't see the vision. You're gonna put money into a business? You're gonna build shoes? Seriously, you're gonna compete with Nike? They don't see the vision. They can't see it. It's okay, right? But here's the thing. Sometimes when these people come to me and they ask me for advice, I become vested, right? And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, dude, you want to start a marketing agency? You know, I was watching this course recently, and they talk about how blah, 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 and this and this and that. Let me share those links with you. And I was in this other course where because I'm constantly taking courses, by the way. I'm constantly reading books about everything, and I'm constantly just pouring stuff in my mind. So, you know, I've been dabbling on learning marketing stuff. So, you know, I'll share some of the stuff that I've been learning, and I'll be like, oh my God, dude, you know, I've actually thought about this. I haven't done it, but I've thought about it, and I've read a lot about it, and I think it's a great idea, man. You should do some research on it. You should really kind of get into it. And I'll be like, hey, man, did you ever read those? You know, did you ever read those books? Did you get a chance to look at those links? And they're like, oh yeah, you know, I watched the video. I'm in it. I think it's cool. You know, I haven't really done it though. You know, like the $125 to set up the site, you know, or the $150 that it costs for the budget for the first set of ads to start marketing my agency. You know, like my wife isn't really like in it. You know what I mean? And so she's, you know, I'm having to figure out how to do this. And then maybe a week goes by. And I'll ask, hey, you know, have you put any money into that real estate thing? You know, you were really excited. You know, how did that go? And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, you know, I didn't because, you know, my wife wants to go she wants to go to Puerto Vallarta this weekend, And so I used the money to buy the tickets to go on this vacation, and you can see it and feel it inside of them that they're dying inside. They're literally dying inside. They know that they're meant for something bigger and greater. But, happy wife, happy house, I don't know. Whatever that methodology that I think is absolutely ridiculous, by the way. Whatever that idea, they start compromising the excitement and the things that they think that they want to accomplish. And then I'm over here going, dude, don't give up on your dream, man. If this is something you really want, like, you know what, man, you gotta fight. You gotta save $10 a month, and in a year you're gonna have the $150 or $120 that you need to host your course, on the course thing, or to do your first marketing budget. Like, take your change and put in a change jar, and eventually you'll have enough. And here's the thing. You can't want something for somebody more than they want it. I'm going to say it again because this is important. You cannot want something for somebody more than they want it. I can't want somebody to take on a challenge, to do something good for themselves more than they want it. I can't want somebody to launch a business, become successful, secure a retirement, do some amazing things in life, fund their kids' college education more than they want it. I can't make somebody understand that wanting to make their dreams come true and actually making their dreams come true is going to create a better life for them, their partners, their families. I can't want that for them more than they want it. And it's been a really interesting lesson for me because I get vested. I get vested. They're my friends. They're friends and family, right? And or people I just meet, and then I get to learn about them and their dreams, and I get excited with them. And then all I want to do is help them. But I can't want it more than they want it. And so I find myself having to learn to let go. I get to that point where I'm like, okay, they don't want it as much as I would like for them to have this. And so I'm gonna have to let go. We're still friends. We're still gonna talk, and you're still gonna come to me and tell me your ideas and maybe ask for advice at a different time or a different topic. And I'm still gonna be there. You're still my friend. You're still, But I have to myself remind myself that I can't want something more than they want. I have to let go of the idea of wanting to support them. And sometimes I think it happens to a lot of us where we see the potential in somebody and we want them to do something so amazing. And because we see it, to them it should be easy. Maybe they're musically inclined and you're like, man, why aren't you chasing this dream, man? You should be chasing this dream. And they're like, yeah, no, but, I know, I'm going to tell you guys a quick little story. I have a friend who actually got approached by a booking manager. And he said, hey, come play guitar with X rock star. Okay? We're going on tour. Their guitarist is sick. We need a guitarist. You are the bomb, and we want you to tour with the band on a national tour. And he was so excited. And he went home and he told his fiance, they were planning their wedding at the time. He went and told his fiance about this opportunity, and he was like, man, the only thing is we would have to postpone the wedding. And that girl said, you're gonna have to choose. You're gonna have to choose whether you're going to go tour with your music thing or whether you're gonna get married. And he chose the wedding. Ironically, the wedding never happened. I don't remember the details, but she broke up with him. I don't remember for what reason, but he missed a life-changing opportunity to please somebody else. And in the process, he ended up with no wife and no national tour. And for the longest time, he beat himself up over it. He couldn't change it. It already happened. You can't go back and change time. So, when you want something, and it's really important to you, when you see the vision, don't compromise your vision. Don't listen to what people tell you that don't see your vision. Don't listen to people. If you see something and you want it, go after it. Want it. If you want it, then act like you want it. Chase it. Grab it. Tackle it down. Tie it up. And get it. And if you fail, get up and chase it again. Fail forward. I hope my words reach you, and I hope it inspires you to take on a challenge, whatever that challenge is. Starting a business, getting in better shape, reading more books, spending more time with your family, whatever it is, whatever that challenge is, get out there and do it. Because in 365 days, that challenge will become real. And you're going to look back, and you're going to be at day 22, and you're going to be like, wow, I've lost 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches off my waistline. I didn't think I was going to see changes in 20 days. But here I am, day 22, and I have lost 2 inches off my waistline. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow on day 23, but today is day 22, 365 days. Yeah, I'm taking it down. Take care.